Hi everyone, thank you for having me on this TEDx series. It's a pleasure of mine, especially because I'm sandwiched between such amazing speakers. I'm Gurjot and I will be giving you a talk on how to be fearless for the next few minutes. And I really want all the students here to listen very carefully. In my slides, you can see me standing in front of mountains. These are Alps in Austria. And yes, I have the courage to move mountains, and I'm going to teach you to do so. There is a statement by Viktor Frankl. He is a very known Austrian neurologist, and he has written many books on very important topics like mental health. And I really think you should read them. And this statement is about mental health. Mental health is based on a certain degree of tension, the tension between what one already achieved and what one wants to achieve. And to be honest, everything in our life is actually based on exactly that. You have a certain mental tension going on all the time, which pulls you between what you already have and what you want to have. And most of your fears, most of your anxieties, especially in your education or workspace, are because of this. So most of our fears nowadays, they are not about survival per se. You may feel it like that, but they are more about the emotional or mental fears that you feel. Especially so when you encounter your angry boss or your angry wife. Before I actually start telling you about how to counter all these fears in your life, this anxiety, especially in this pandemic era when you are, anxious all the time, I first must tell you, why this could be happening to you. So we have to look at Schopenhauer's observation. You can see it in my slide, this graph, which Schopenhauer made for the whole of mankind, but we can definitely individualize it. So on the y-axis you see skill, and on the x-axis you see difficulty. When the skill is very low and the difficulty is very high, this is the point when we are very anxious. For example, you want to give a competitive examination, but you did not prepare enough. So you do not have the skills to pass that examination, and the examination itself is very difficult. These things cause fear in our brain, in the process itself, and especially when you're sitting there trying to give that examination. There is the other part, the other extreme, and we are usually vacillating between these two extremes. That is when your skill level is very high, but the difficulty level is very low. That is when you are bored. And this is true for all things in your life. Be it your workspace, be it your personal relationship. Yes, your skill can be very high and the difficulty of the relationship is very low. So you're bored. You want to end it. Or the skill is very low and the difficulty is very high. You're with a very difficult person. So you don't know how to deal with that situation. So we are now going to understand how to get rid of that anxiety that you feel, the existential terror. It doesn't really exist, right? There's no lion. But you're still very, very anxious about it. So let's see how we can deal with that. One of the things that we need to master, and actually given already in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and we are going to use it to make a Gurjot's hierarchy of fearlessness. So let's look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs and try to understand. Maslow basically told what are the different needs a person has in his life, and on the top is the self-actualization. So if you want to reach self-actualization, there are certain stages you must cross. And when you are satisfied, you have satisfied your needs at these stages, then only you can reach your self-actualization. So the lower needs are classified as deficiency needs, because if you are deficient in them, you will just stay here. You will not grow any further. There's no growth, right? But self-actualization is the growth need. So when you reach there, that's where your motivation actually starts to increase. The lower stages are, first stage is physiological, that is, you need to sleep and eat well. Once you're satisfied this need, then you want to be safe, that is, you want four walls around you, you need a car and so on. When this need is met, then love and belonging. Now you want to be loved and you want to have a family. Then comes the need for self-esteem, self-respect. So once the three levels are satisfied, you want to be respected in society. These are still deficiency needs. And the motivation decreases with the top stage. But then you must have these needs met if you want to self-actualize yourself. If we look at our triangle, so now we are talking about Gurjot's hierarchy of fearlessness. If you want to be fearless, there are still some needs that you need to be met. You need to have success there. You need to have fulfilled these needs before you can actually become fearless. And I'm not just talking about, there's a lion and you want to be fearless, right? Or your angry wife, your angry boyfriend, your angry boss. I'm talking about every kind of fear that you generate throughout your life. You want to drive a car, but you're too afraid to drive a car. That's a fear. You haven't driven the car yet, right? You have to give an examination, but you're already procrastinating. I'm going to fail this examination. Another fear. And I know that sometimes these can really become existential terrors, because even if you fail that exam, you don't drive the car, that's not going to kill you, but you're going to feel like that, right? But this happens a lot in student life, especially when we are growing up. So look at my triangle here, and I will move you up the stages, and of course these are based on individual experience, and you are welcome to change it according to your needs. The first one, the most basic layer here, is that you need to be thorough. You have to be prepared. If you decide that you want to get over a fear of yours, it can be a very small fear, it can be a very big one, right? Maybe it's a fear of me. Some of my students are fearful of me, true, right? The first thing you need to do is do the full research on it. You need to be prepared. If you have to give a competitive examination in 6 months, you need to start preparing yourself today. What are you going to learn about? How many hours you're going to put in? Because you cannot wait for the last minutes. And this is the basis of every kind of anxiety that you feel in your life. You need to be thorough. There's no way around. The more you run away from it, the more you're going to get caught up and become more anxious about it. The second is also very important. So once you are thorough, that's going to really boost you, make you positive. But the second is never look back. It has happened to many people. It happened to my brother too, that you give a competitive examination, you fail, right? That really hurts, right? I give an interview, I fail. That hurts, right? But you should never look back. You should take that as an experience, try to learn what you could from it, and just move on. You cannot sit after 6 months or whatever happened and think about, oh my God, I failed that examination, I'm no good. Because that's where it is going to take you, I'm no good. So you should never look back, whatever happened in the past. Maybe you wanted to drive a car at one point and you were not afraid, but you had a small accident. So that has made you fearful for the rest of the life. So you have to stop looking at what happened there, and you have to start looking at the future. Next one is, this is very important, and a lot of students actually miss this out. And I have to say, nobody really prepares you for it, is that you must get mentors. We don't understand what mentors are. They're not really your friends. They are these people who have experience in a certain area of life where you're lacking, and they can, look like friends, but they are actually guiding you through the process. So you might have seen, especially the young students, you might have seen that there is always a friend who has more experience in personal relationships, and you always go to that person whenever you have, like a question, like, I don't know what to tell her. I mean, I want to really talk to this girl, but what should I say, right? And you always go to this person. It's not a friend, it's a mentor. And the sooner you make in your life these mentors, these people, and this is not going to be one person, it's going to be many people. Why? Because one person never has all the qualities, right? If a person is good at relationships, the other person is good at networking, the other person is good at research, the other person is good at something else. So everybody, even I, have a group of mentors, and we know who to go to when we need help. Why is this important? Because when we will move forward in our life, we will come up with different kind of fears or anxieties. I don't know about this. How I am going to go forward, and that moment is very anxious. I really want to crack it, but I don't know how to go forward. And at that time, that mentor is going to come and help you. The one word from them, don't worry, I know how to do this, is going to change that fear or anxiety into something really good in your life. So that's also very important. These I'm classifying into deficiency needs. If you're deficient in any of these, then you're not going to become fearless at any point. You must have these things to make sure that you start to grow. The next two stages, these are quite personal, so you are welcome to change them. The first one is have a few friends only. Everybody needs friends, but having too many friends can also complicate things in your life. But you need somebody to stick with you so that you would go forward in your life, to enjoy those moments in your life. So this is a growth need. And because when you will start to grow, you would also like to tell someone what is going on in your life. So you must have a few friends at this point. You don't want to be lonely. And of course, on the top, just like self-actualization, is know yourself. Whatever happens, every person has limits, right? Like how I grew up, nobody knows other than me. My childhood is different from yours. And those things do shape how you face different fears of your life. So knowing your limits and knowing which limits can you challenge is also going to be important. Nobody can help you here. Knowing yourself is really going to make you fearless in every way. If I already know that I'm going to be good at this, then I'm going to be good at this. Right? So this is very important. And as you will move up, your motivation is going to continuously increase and your fear is going to continuously decrease. And I'm talking about all fears, all mental or emotional fears that you deal with every day in your life, especially in this pandemic area where unfortunately many of us are sitting at home and we don't know what to do. Alright, so I'll end my talk with this slide here. On the left side you see my dog, my puppy Chiku, and you see that with time she's actually becoming a lion. Just joking. What I want to say is that it is your everyday life and your practicing fearlessness that is going to take you there, is going to take, really make you the lion. You really need to start practicing today. Stop thinking about all the things that pull you back. Really stop thinking about them. Prepare yourself. Know yourself. Understand that anyone who is successful in their lives, they were just like you when they started out. They just started controlling this fear. That's how they become the lion of their lives, right? So all the best, and I'm up for questions. So shoot it out. Thank you. Bye.